All right. So my man's couldn't get his camera to work.
I literally rewrote my code in my computer.
That's probably what it was, bro. You shouldn't be rewriting code.
Nah, man, I just did that for this. And I just had this going today. Yet last night. I feel like I just got ready for a date, and the person I was supposed to go on a date just told me that I got a call that they just passed away or some shit. I feel like Matt Tateo.
Jesus Christ. You know what that is?
You don't know who that is?
No.
Mateo? Football player?
See?
Oh, now
Talking about the football player?
The football player,
He had a fake catfish story.
he got catfish, and he thought his girlfriend passed away, and I think his grandma and his girlfriend passed away, quote unquote, but it was a catfish the whole time.
Yeah, you know what? That kind of ruined his career, his football career.
Damn.
It did, and he didn't even know. It's not like he knew.
Yeah, I mean, he was wrong for that anyway. Come on now. You know you're gonna be in the limelight, big star in the NFL. You gonna talk about your catfish story?
You saying he should have just kept that one to himself and
Yeah.
took that one on?
Yeah, if you've never met her,
Take it on the chin like a man.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome. We're gonna start now. All right. Oh, I keep doing that because keep thinking I need a sound sync, and I don't need a sound sync. All right. Welcome to Big Dudes, Big Truth. Nihisu, his camera's not on, so we're gonna thank you guys. Appreciate it. Anyways, Nihisu's camera's not on. So I guess we're just gonna show his name. So I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing.
You're making me sad.
And then the next time, it'll work and we'll all be on things. Cool.
Right. The
That's
next
right.
time it'll just pop on like it did last night.
Yeah.
That's right.
The
I got
is we
hood
didn't give up
equipment.
and just say screw it.
Mm-hmm.
I got the
We're
hood
gonna make it work
equipment.
with what we got. That's all you can do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look, man, I'm gonna say it like this: we're blessed just to have me sounding good.
That's true.
It's gonna be something, man, from the streets.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm excited because I've been wanting to, chop it up with you, and then all three of us. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this. Also, I wasn't gonna let no, it's gonna happen either way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I know you guys got topics and everything like that. Before you dip into it, did you guys see CNN is closing down its offices?
Where?
What?
Now look, no, but not because of the new Omicron. But peep this though. On the article, it specifically says CNN closes down U.S. offices. Then when you click on it, it says because of the COVID. But why would it, specify U.S. offices? You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting my investigator hat on.
So they're a Chinese propaganda outlet.
What was that today?
Yes. So if y'all just look that up right quick and just
I'm
peep that.
write that down in my lookup thing for later.
Do you see how it says U.S. offices and then it like conveniently goes in and out of saying U.S. offices or just offices because of COVID? I don't know. It's the U.S. for me makes me feel like, okay, why would you specify U.S. like you have another office that's gonna be up and running? That's not in them. That's not in the United States.
They should have them in China, bro. They're the Chinese propaganda outlet.
It's probably because they're about to all be busted because they're all a bunch of perverts.
December 18th, Reuters. CNN is closing its offices in the United States to all non-essential employees as COVID-19 cases increase. The network said on Saturday in an internal memo to staff seen by Reuters. CNN, part of the AT&T Inc. Warner Media division, will close offices to all employees who do not have work in the office. The memo said, "We are doing this out of an abundance of caution," CNN President Jeff Zucker said in the memo, "and it will also protect those who will be in the office by minimizing the number of people who are there. Employees who need to come to the office will be required to wear a mask at all times," CNN said. The network will also make changes to its studios and control rooms to minimize the number of people in offices recording, according to the memo.
So they're still going to be broadcasting. They're just like, the mail boy can't come in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
pretty much. It's just all the assistants. So all these people are going to need to go get their own coffee. CNN.
I just didn't know why it specifically said U.S. offices. It made me feel like, okay,
Yeah, because the main shit's going on across the like, yeah.
yeah, you kind of got to use the keywords because the keywords is going to help you find
Yeah, that I say
the
like, yeah, I mean, isn't the main problem
you would
overseas
just say
right now?
offices, right? Wouldn't you just say CNN offices shut down due to COVID, right? Wouldn't that be the headline? Not CNN closes U.S. offices or offices in the United States. I'm
Bro,
sorry,
I'm telling
I'm
you,
just a little
Yeah, I mean, why
CNN,
didn't y'all close down
conspiracy
last year when it
theorist.
started?
bro, I'm telling you, CNN stands for Chinese News Network. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Hey, I
they're a
believe
bunch
it.
of perverts.
I believe it.
They're all about to be exposed.
Hey, this is going to be the best episode, man. We're just what like 5 minutes in, and we're already going for it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to upload this to Rumble, bro, because YouTube's at the very least gonna strike us for that one.
Oh yeah, I got struck down for calling a fat bitch a fat bitch. I don't know what to call the bitch now.
All right, so this new funky
What do you call a
bitch,
fat
bro,
bitch? A hefty
well,
Betty? What
Hefty
you say?
Betty. All right, so I was hoping you'd call this one a funky bitch. Joy Reid, bro. Joy Reid calls Elon Musk a bum, like a freeloader. That's what he called him, a freeloader. So I'm gonna play the audio for it. The video will be up on the screen, but I'm gonna play
2017. Well, Elon wasn't happy, so he did what he always did and stomped his little feet and insulted Senator Warren, calling her an angry mom and referring to her as Senator Karen. So for so many reasons, being a freeloader and a selfish and disrespectful one, and for misappropriating Black vernacular for misogynistic purposes, Elon Musk is the absolute worst. Meanwhile, Senator Warren has better...
So a freeloader and misappropriating Black vernacular, bro. I didn't know calling people Karen was a Black thing. Did you know this?
Bro, I think Karen is cringe. I hate hearing people say Karen. It's so cringe to me, bro. Cause it's like, okay, so one race has a Karen. Like we don't have we don't have a Makisha and you guys don't have a Guadalupe. Like, get the fuck out of here. There's old, irritating women of all cultures everywhere.
That's what I was gonna say. For the white people, it's Karen. For the Mexicans, it's Guadalupe, and for the Black people, it would be Shaniqua, right?
Yeah, bro. No, it's not. I don't know. It's not my vernacular. I'm Black, but I might not be Black though. Who knows? I don't know what
That's right.
fall
That's
under
right.
nowadays.
You didn't vote for Joe Biden.
I didn't vote for Joe Biden.
So he
I don't support Black Lives Matter. So I'm just.
He took the black out of you, bro.
Yeah, I'm new breed. I don't know what to call me.
Yeah, well, I think it's just funny that they're going after what. So you can't go after the senator that pretended she was a Native American in order to get into college for free. Can't call her. She can call everybody else Karen and go after everybody's money, but y'all worried about calling the one that pretended to be an Indian a Karen, and then Elon Musk is a freeloader.
Oh, that's why Biden shut down your camera, bro.
Yeah,
because no one can see that you're Black because you didn't vote for him. So
Well, I mean, according to him, y'all can't have lawyers either if y'all are entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
He's an entrepreneur.
We don't have access to lawyers.
He's winning off of America, selling us out.
There you go. Yeah, lean more towards your mic because you sounded far away right there.
Well, and remember, right when he got elected, he had that Zoom call and he was talking to all the Black leaders, like, and y'all are gonna have to start getting along with the Hispanics.
Yeah, I saw that shit too.
He was giving us a stern talking to, huh?
Yeah, you see everybody's face like.
He said, "America is doomed, not just because of the African American." I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's cold. That's how they look at us, man. They like, fuck them. We just need to get them to vote, but fuck them for real,
bro. It's so
we're
funny.
not even beefing. This is a great podcast.
It's so funny that I found out that Biden was actually one of the people who was signing in laws that was making it hard to near impossible to get rid of your student debt, and he was the one who, along with George Bush, finally made it impossible to get rid of your student debt. And when he campaigned on, we're gonna get rid of your student debt, I was like, oh shit, you were just lying. He's been lying for like over 40 years though. He got into office when he was like what, like
Like
30.
yeah,
Like
like 28 back in 71.
I think he was 29, but he had to wait till he was 30 to be part of the Senate. And so like he got the office, but this fool's never did anything significant in his life, bro.
No, I mean, if you look at his record, no, he really hadn't. I mean, and I'm
Oh
sorry,
no,
but
you lying. You're lying, Tino. You're a liar. You're the biggest liar in the world.
Why is
He
that?
did do something significant. He
What did he do?
basically wrote the crime bill, so he did something very significant. He locked
Yeah.
up. He locked up niggas. He's known for locking up niggas.
I'm dead.
But you know that's our president though.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, but I think it makes us look weak. Regardless of who's in, if you don't like them, denying them and everything. Yeah, I'll do the let's go Brandon this and that. But I'm not gonna go like they did to the occupier. The White House. Like, no, that makes us look weak on the world stage. We already look bad right now. We already look like a bunch of pussies from the military. What they're doing with the LGBT shit. I mean,
Man.
sorry, like people need to wake up.
How do y'all feel about that? I was just talking to my Marine buddy today. And I was just like, man,
I go for the vaccines.
I feel bad. Like, when is it okay to force the people that protect people to do something with their bodies when you couldn't even have a certain amount of tattoos to get into a boot camp, let alone like the military cares so much about your body that you can't do certain things, but when it's time to rub shoulders and kiss ass, you need to get a vaccine. That's come on, man. Not to the people that protect us, man. That's come on. Where's the boundaries? Come on, man.
There's no boundaries, bro. It's all power.
Yeah, well, that the argument for that people say, well, when they join up, they have to get a bunch of vaccines anyway, and they're supposed to do what they're told when they're told by their superiors. But yes, but there's also things within the military guidelines that says, if they're out during the shit and their leader, they feel like their leader is incompetent, they can tell him like, hey, you're relieved of your command. That's what makes our military so great. One, it's a volunteer, and two, we have certain codes and guidelines where we can, as a below and superior, we can be like, hey, no. Go to a review board or something like that. And the vaccines they take in the beginning, yeah, those are for, for overseas shit. This is not a vaccine. This is not a approved vaccine.
Yeah.
And for be throwing people out when we're about to go down with old Qingtown and fucking Russia too. I mean, Russia and China, they met the other day.
Yeah, we were pushing them close together.
Those vaccines are tried and true and had years of had years of trials. So
yeah, exactly. And think about it, what was it the other day? 21 Navy SEALs have, pretty much said, yeah, fuck you, I'm done. And then the other day they released 30 something fighter pilots from the Air Force that are flying F-22 Raptors and shit. Like, it's gonna keep wilding down too. I mean, nobody's gonna want to join the military now.
So back to what the original thing was about. She called Elon Musk a freeloader, right? Because she's mad because Senator Warren said we need this new progressive tax plan with the Build Back Better bill and for rich people to pay their fair share because they're freeloaders. So I'm just sitting here thinking, like, how is he a freeloader? This man has created, as far as just Tesla, I think it's Tesla. As far as Tesla's concerned, he's created 48,000 jobs. So I don't understand how that's freeloading. I'm assuming he has to pay the taxes that go along with paying those employees income tax, right?
Everything.
So I don't understand the whole he's a freeloader comment, because that just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, how many people does she employ, or does she make all of her money off of corporate sponsors?
She probably doesn't even get taxed. She just gets the money, keeps the money, spends the money.
Who Warren or Joy?
Joy Reid.
Joy Reid? Well, yeah. Well, one, I'm sorry, but I don't like that bitch. You want to talk about a racist? All you ever hear from her is white supremacist this and Karen that, and then when it's a person of color that she don't agree with, Uncle Tom this, and one of the Hispanic guy, Drew Hernandez, on the trial, he idiotic bitch. Shut up.
So she's a funky bitch, right, Nihisu?
Look, man, I got worse words in my book for her, but Yeah,
So
she is what she is. She know what she is.
she
Yeah,
knows what
puppet.
she is. So
I'm gonna be
she's
nice and say puppet.
so her net worth is 4 million, and her salary is 2 million a year.
You
Yeah,
think she
well,
paying any of that back?
no,
Hell
no,
no.
no. But I don't understand what she's saying about he's using the black vernacular. Like, what did he say
The
that had to
fuck
do
does
with the
that
black
mean?
community? Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it either, to be honest. I didn't know that was a black thing. I just thought that that's what you called very old, annoying white women.
What the fuck is a black person though? I'm sorry. I woke up one day and they was like, "That's what you are." Can somebody? I still don't know what is that? Who is that and what is that? And I've never seen a black person day in my life. I promise you, I haven't.
Bro, what?
No, I'm dead ass. I've never seen a black person day in my life.
So, what are we talking about then here?
That's what I'm like. What? It just sounds like some shit you make to just throw shit at. Like it just sounds like okay, you know when you need space, but you don't have space, so you go get a drawer. Black
Uh-huh.
person to me is a drawer. You just don't have any space, but you need to put shit somewhere, so you just go get a drawer, an extra
As far
drawer.
as like a category you're talking about?
Yeah,
Like
it's just yeah, man. It's bullshit. I don't even know what the fuck a black person is. I don't even, bro. I really don't even remember. I need to go look it up. I don't even know what year they started using black. I think it was like they started using black in the
What?
70s with the I'm black and I'm proud shit.
Okay.
So
And
that was
when I remember you told me that African American was a recent term as well.
yeah, Africa. You want me to break it all the way down? Well,
Yeah.
fuck that. No, I don't want to go into because this we're gonna venture off somewhere, and I want to make it about all of that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Like I said, black vernacular for using it in a sexist way is what I don't know. That shit was just ridiculous. All right. Senator Warren's a liar. She claimed to be Native American when she's like 1,062nd of a Native American.
Yeah, and then she goes home on stolen land and doesn't give it
back. Bro, swear to God.
Yeah, they're gonna juice this land today to this time for them to go back to Europe.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. All right. So, anyways, so next I would say what I was telling you about. I thought you were gonna react to this video, bro. The one where they're saying is an equality club, but it's really like an LGBT conversion club. Like where they try to convert these students, like try to convince these students to make them think that they're
Oh, you mean that one that where they had with a mom? She was like, "You turned my fucking boy into a transplant for your sports team."
I'm not sure if it was for the sports because they were doing it to multiple children, not just her.
Yeah,
kid. But
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, here I'll play the video for her.
How long of a mistake? How many mistakes are we going to take before my child almost lost her life? They didn't tell me that my child was suicidal. You allowed these teachers to open their classrooms teaching predatorial information to a young child, a mindful child that doesn't even know how to comprehend it all. How do you not know what was going on your own campuses? Did you think that no parent would ever come forward? You will not quiet me today. I will stand here today and protect my child along with every other child who has not come forward yet. Do they have psychiatry degrees that I was unaware of? Because I didn't hire them. Okay, I did not hire them to sit there and nitpick my child's brain. You took away my ability to parent my child, even before I had any knowledge. I didn't even get to show support. You asked for support, I didn't get a chance. You planted seeds, Miss Caldera and Miss Baraki, Mr. Baraki and you, Miss Pagarin. Your job was to educate my child in math, science, English, etc. Do your job and let me do mine. They assumed that my child needed your aid and resources. They pushed it in the face. And
do you hear that, Wet Paint?
Yeah, I definitely heard that.
So I thought you would have found that video and did a response to it.
What, is she black?
No, she's
man. You know niggas don't care about their kids. I ain't gonna find that video because it ain't gonna pop up. If niggas cared about their kids, we wouldn't be in this damn problem we in today. If we cared about our kids, bro, that sounds like a parent that cares. What you asking me about that for? We don't know about that.
Would you asking me about that?
we
Well-
don't know about that. The fuck?
In relation to as far as the
I'm
public
joking.
school system, bro, like the public school system is literally just an indoctrination center. That's all it is. They're not interested in teaching our kids like basic learning skills. I mean, even basic life skills anymore. Like here in Texas is different because like my kid my oldest is in health and human services, and she is learning how to knit. She's learning how to sew. She's learning how to like do all kinds of stuff that's gonna be productive for her life when she like it's skills that she's gonna be able to use every day of her life when she's older. Because I mean, like legit, bro. I graduated fucking high school. I'd never used algebra a day since I've graduated, bro. Not one day since I've graduated.
Yeah, and you know what? I just want to thank y'all. Thank y'all for not California and my Texas. Y'all came here and like you're not
I'm dead.
the bullshit or anything. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was actually a California school, but yeah, they're teaching the kids, or they started this club. It's like did you had some of the clubs, right? Nihizu, in school, they're like the gay club or like the gender equality club type shit.
We had clubs, but being gay wasn't really that popping back then. Like back then, the gay people they got ultimate respect. Nobody messed with them. They didn't mess with us. They didn't really cry out for help or cry out for attention. I mean, they would. I mean, one of the gay kids he would always bring this big speaker to school and play it walking, strutting across the campus. But we still gave the man respect. Quaylen or Quay Sheila. We let her do what she wanted to do. They never cried for attention. Then they just would shake their ass and walk around campus, and we would just let them do what they do.
Yeah, but now it's like they're trying to force it down upon us. Like, hey, you must recognize us. You must use our pronouns. Our civil rights. We get to teach your kids this and that. Like, no.
Well, so we had a group in my high school. It was called Unity, and that's what it was called. That's the what's called. So I got invited to it one time, so I went because I was like, it's just a chance to get out of class and not have to do anything. So I went, and it's literally just all these people talking about being gay and how hard it is to be gay. Like that's literally all it's about, and like 75% of it was all like gay and lesbian people. And so don't get me wrong, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But you have these now that are like taking straight kids and being like, oh well, you might be transgender, you might be a boy strapped in a girl's body or a girl trapped in a boy's body. Like you're like trying to teach it to the kids,
Yeah, and when did y'all graduate?
I graduated in 2011.
Okay, so I'm not too far. But I'm 07. For some reason, I'm thinking y'all are way younger than me. But you're right. Like back then, it wasn't really that big of a problem.
Yeah, gay people were scrappy.
It's like this whole new radical LGBT movement, and I'm not homophobic. If you're gay, cool, whatever. But when you direct message me and I have nothing on my profile that even suggests that I'm gay, and you're trying to come at me like a predator, yeah, you gonna get the wild side of me, motherfucker. When you try to do that shit with the kids, no, that needs to stop. And then when you try to say that we need to, like Jordan Peterson with the pronoun thing, when we with that one professor, she's like, no, you're being lazy, Jordan. You can easily remember somebody's pronouns. It's like, yeah, I can easily see that this is a guy, and I say he or sir. You want zers, zims, this and that? Like, stick that up your ass. I'm tired of this shit.
That's doing too much. And see what that is doing is now we're paying attention. Now you went from being like the kid that passed to now it's like now we gotta stop you. Like, hold on, you on that bullshit? And that's red flagging the people that don't necessarily want to be red flagged, that are just regular. They just want to live their life and be and do what they do and be who they want to be. When I was in school, gay people were scrappy. They fucking earned their respect. They fought. They were cool. Gay people were cool because gay people was how you got women. If you wanted to get you a cold one, you was gonna have to go through a
gay best friend
or a gay man, because that's how you got the big booty stitches, as Crip Mac would say. That's what I'm saying. So gay people never really went through nothing because gay people were just highly revered and like respected, and they were scrappy, and they fought, and they twerked, and they did funny things that made us laugh too, and they did all types of crazy stuff. And hey, it was one gay dude. He was thinking about dropping it down on graduation. You know what? I said, you know what? I'll give you $50 to drop it down on graduation when they call your name. I uphold it. The BS. I don't know. Now it's like you're putting this like this target on your back that it was never there, man. Nobody really never.
Exactly. They're making people, I mean, they're not making me to the point where I want to be homophobic, but they're making it to the point now like, okay, well, you know what? Just because you got some sugar in your tank doesn't mean you can't get your ass whooped. Oh, it's a hate crime? Okay, well, you're making it to the point now where, you know what? Everybody need to get slapped once in their life. If you're a man and you're gay, guess what? Every man needs his ass beat once in his life. It don't matter if you're gay. Everybody needs their humbling.
Right.
That's true.
That slap in the mouth, punch in the mouth, slap in the face, man. That'd wake you
Yeah,
up and
it's
make you
just the
realize.
disrespect, like I'm always gonna be respectful towards everybody. I don't care who you are, but when you come at me like that and you got some sugar in your tank, you got a big problem.
And you know what sucks? It's really the media gays. Cause like I said, the same scrappy gays. I mean, hell, Quaylen ended up being homeless. He was out there in the streets, booty out still. He was behind the movie theater, the dollar movie theaters right by the freeway. He ended up being homeless, but he was scrappy still. He still was scrappy. And if you looked at him the wrong way, he still was trying to fight you. He was homeless and everything. He was in the streets. He'll still try to fight you. So I mean, and that's not really painting a good light on things. But what I'm saying is it's the media gaze, man. It's the media radical gaze. It's not like still, like I said, it puts that unnecessary pressure on people that are not like that in real life. In real life, all the gay people that we know, they still cool. They still do what they do. They still in their relationships. They can finally get married. They chilling. They doing what they got to do, man. They're not trying to bother nobody or force that on my kids or force that on their kids. Hell, I know gay people that, I mean, you can't help but to show your kids that's gay. But when I know that the gay people that I know they by now adopting kids, and I mean, like I said, you can't help but show that to the child. But
yeah, and that's your job
are.
as the parent to explain it to your kids, not them,
right?
The teacher.
Right, yeah, and so it's they doing too much, and now they're forcing it like you're causing unnecessary beef with like for no reason. Now you force it on the schools and you're forcing it onto these kids, and everybody knows the way to get the way to get something to become something is you have to start with a generation. So this is the generation they picking it, and that they want this to flourish in, and it's sick that how they campaign at the kids so tough. It's really messed up. I really don't like it. It's definitely conditioning, 100%.
Yeah, it is. And, I tell everybody, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's been going on, clearly, for the past couple of decades. It wasn't really in my generation, but everybody slept on it and didn't know. Everywhere's indoctrinated. Even here in my town, they're pushing that kind of shit. And I tell people all the time, you need to pay attention. Stop worrying about the federal government and the elections, stuff like that. No, state, local, and school boards. That's where they have infiltrated. That's where we're seeing it all over the place. And if you don't pay attention, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
Right. Don't bet on my Texas.
Hey, speaking of which, real quick, did you this video, bro, that you sent to the group chat, was this on TikTok or you found this?
Who, me?
Gift from Zoom. Running out of time. We removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting.
Thank you, Zoom. They see the truth.
Nice.
Why would you do that, Zoom? Huh?
Well, normally there's
a little too colorful for you.
Normally there's an hour time limit, but what's it called? I was gonna say, is there the video that you this one? Hold on. Shout out to Nihisi for this.
So this fat funky bitch hopped online and told you other fat funky hoes that the reason why you fat funky hoes is fat is because racism and Trump. Y'all gotta watch out for these bitches. Y'all gotta watch out for these niggas.
Where did you find that at?
Okay, look, bro. Facebook is my playground.
It was on Instagram?
Yeah, it was on his Instagram.
Wait, me? You talking about me?
Yeah, it's on your Instagram page.
Yeah, it is. That's the only place where it's allowed to be right now.
Yeah, that's the only way I can really watch your content. Like on YouTube, I can tell. Like, yeah, I feel like he should have more videos than this. Like, there's only a few.
I just posted 2 new ones.
I thought it was, oh, you did? Oh, yeah, that's right. He did just post 2 new ones.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like way before that too. Like I'm looking at the Instagram. I'm like, well, where are these? I'm like, oh shit, they blackballed him.
Yeah,
was
they
gonna say-
did, bro. Almost got my whole YouTube channel took down. I got 2 strikes in 2 weeks.
Fuck them.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah, I
them.
They're
remember.
not ready for what I got to offer. Nobody wants to hear the shit I got to say.
I was gonna say you haven't got the TikTok yet, Nihisu?
Nah,
Well-
bro. I tried to be on TikTok, but I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah.
man. TikTok is tough
They'll
for your
censor
boy.
you real quick.
Hey, are you back on your TikTok, Abram?
No, they finally, after the Me and the Pale Latinos war, I had her on the retreat. She surrendered, and then she decided to make a quick little comeback, and I destroyed her again. TikTok said we are in a review board meeting right now, and I fucking was like, all right, and I wrote my little appeal saying, be real racist, huh? And they came back and they were like, we've decided to delete your account. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. See, what I was just gonna say. What's the platform again? T for the new YouTube, and we know Parlor, but what's the new YouTube
Oh,
platform?
get her?
No. Rumble.
Rumble. Okay.
Yeah,
Rumble's
Rumble and BitChute.
Yeah, Rumble is in line to replace YouTube. Parlor is the replacement for Twitter, and there's one. I think Locals is the replacement for Facebook.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
before we move on, you know how we were talking about like the shit that's going on in the schools, the indoctrination and stuff.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, since I've been still searching for a job over this past year, still not having any luck. In between times, I'll still go watch school board meetings from around the country. And there's this one. It's in Prince William County. Listen to this. What this lady says real quick.
To read an excerpt from Trevor Noah's book, Born a Crime. In Germany, no child finishes school without learning about the Holocaust. Not just the facts of it, but the how and why and the gravity of it, what it means. As a result, Germans grow up appropriately aware and apologetic. In America, the history of racism is taught like this. There was slavery, and then there was Jim Crow, and then there was MLK Jr., Martin Luther King Jr., and now it's done. It was the same for us in South Africa. Apartheid was bad. Nelson Mandela was freed. Let's move on. Facts,
But did you hear what she said with the Germans though? So she's a teacher, and she's calling out against parents, speaking out against that they're teaching CRT, and she starts off with let me read an expert from Trevor Noah's book. Germans are their kids are brought up about the Holocaust. That way they'll be apologetic and appropriate. So you're saying that every kid in America needs to be brought up apologetic, and they need to be made appropriate to the sins of the past and this and that. So you just gonna teach my kid just because he's brown that he ain't shit, and you're gonna teach this little white boy over here that he's an oppressor? Fuck you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think about that, Nihisu, about the critical race theory in elementary schools?
Well, it's funny. DeSantos just posted something, and that's my guy, man. I don't want to drag him or nothing like that. I'm not here to start fights. He basically said that the critical race theory is like Marxist in a way, and he basically said how talking about kind of, and I know where he was coming from. He was like just straight denouncing America's history is Marxist, and I understand that. I do, and I don't want to sound like, I don't want to say that the history is bullshit. All that I say is it's just not it's not my history. It's not my people's history. So when you tell the truth, you have to tell the whole truth. I really wish that my background could show, because I got Frederick Douglass in the back of me. That's not somebody that we learn too much about. I really wish, what I'm saying? Like what I believe is, and I'm gonna sound very racist right now, so y'all be prepared. I believe in segregation. I believe in segregation to a certain extent. We can all play sports with each other. We can all have sex with each other. We can do the stupid things with each other. But when it comes to things that you need to know, that's gonna help you build the future, like history, right? Things that you need to move forward. All of our histories, they're different. Everybody's history is different. Now, is there parts of history where we intertwine? Yes, and we can teach that. But the history that they're telling us, it's not a history that, that's not necessarily the truth. That's not our truth. And the history that they are telling, it is true for certain people from a certain place. And I'm not against that. And I don't want to say that that's bad. And I agree with DeSantis to a certain extent. I just think that niggas need to learn nigga history the way niggas set out for their kids to learn their history. And I think the whites need to learn the whites' history the way their ancestors set out for they to learn their history, so we can all come together and talk our shit and just be how we were. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's just that's a friendly competition. Hey man, my war general was better than yours. You know, it's just friendly competition. But I don't think we ought to be learning that same shit, man, for sure. Now.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day. It's a black dude. He's got his mind is just fucking. It's out of things he thinks about, and he told me the same thing. He was like, "Yeah, I'd have segregation," and I didn't agree with that. And I was like, "All right, well, break it down for me." It's like, think about history, and I was like, I knew exactly where he was going with it. And it's like, you know what? You're right, because when you think about it, look back before they desegregated blacks, back in the day, had their own towns and shit, and they were thriving. They were businesses, that wealth, everything. And same with whites, Hispanics, Chinatown, they flourish. But it seems like they knew, like in the '64 Civil Rights Bill, like, no, we're gonna, and that's when it seems like that's when all hell broke loose,
Yeah,
But
a big part of our downfall
historically
is
in our country, like, yeah, when you think back to it, like the fucked up shit that happened in Rosewood and all those other towns, like Oklahoma Wall Street. Before that fucked up shit, blacks were in their own shit and they were thriving. And it's like we saw that, or not we, but the evilness at that time saw that and was like, no. But it's still continuing to this day. It's just a mental form. And I agree that yes, the segregation thing, yes, it's proven that it did work. Do I agree that it needs to be implemented now? No, but you know what the great thing about this country is that it's free. That if an all black community just wanted all blacks, yeah, they could probably do that and play sports together and stuff like this. But my child, like, nah. When I have kids, they're gonna go to school. You're gonna be a white kids, black kids, Asian kids. One's going over there, he's gonna have a little sugar in his tank. You treat them all with respect. Don't ever treat that person because the color of his skin. Teacher, yes, teach the truth of the history. And if we want to teach the real truth, oh, we want to talk about white supremacy and this is that. Okay, so let's be truthful about it then. Let's start with the Democratic Party.
yeah, that's where
Because
the
I was
conversation
taught
starts.
that the Republicans, they were the one. I was lied to. I mean, the Republicans today still ain't kind of shit, but the parties didn't switch. You want to break it down historically? Every civil rights bill, the Democrats have voted against it. Segregation, Jim Crow, Ku Klux Klan, Planned Parenthood, the Negro Project, and now the abortion thing. The whole Roe versus Wade is bullshit. She even came out in a little documentary before she died, the lady, and said that, yeah, they paid her to lie.
Oh,
800 black babies a day are aborted in America. Since 1973, 18,700,000 have been aborted.
And that's why I say we should segregate, because everything that we know today, and I don't mean segregate as like, I just mean segregate in
I know
the
what you
way,
mean.
like in the way we're taught, because soon as we integrated, that's when we got this culture. Before long, we started gang banging, bro. Everything that we do today, did it happen? Did some of the stuff that we do today happen? Yeah. What people don't talk about is there's always been a natural competitive nature with black against black. I mean, with colors against colors. That's just a thing. That's just who we are, and that's most people in their neighborhoods and in their countries. You have nobody else to compete with but yourself. So that's what happens. But just the fact, like the way, even the way we look at relationships, bro, this is all propaganda. This is not how go back to 1930s. Man, your grandma, your ancestor of that time with their woman and her husband, they'll look at you like you fucking crazy. You going around talking about you out here just having babies within your body. You're not taking care of your responsibilities. You don't give a fuck about this. You only want to drink. You only want to shoot. You only want to kill. You only, like, the shit that we're being taught today. Motherfuckers talk about rolling over in their grave. They make it seem like we were really down bad. Like slavery was a thing that was like, oh, motherfucker. So what they try to tell you in slavery is that the minority literally enslaved the majority. That's not realistic. How do you come over and take over a land. What they lack, what they lack in the history is, and this is what I do give white people. This is what I give them. I give them all props and respects for this. They just know how to fucking use words, and they know how to play the long game, bro. They played the long game like Japan did after being bombed. They played the long game like China. That's what they're not playing today. This is why if we do have any problem today, is they're not playing the long game no more. They said fuck it. We've been playing all this damn time. We won. Fuck it. They're not even the whites of the 1700s. They were looking toward the future and dying at 30. They knew where to go with this shit.
So real quick, when you talk about segregation, are you talking about just people settling into their own natural groups, or are you talking about like government enforced segregation?
No, I don't. Government don't need to enforce nothing. This shouldn't even be a government thing. This should be a consensus of our own people. We should get our own shit.
So we can all have our own shit, but like it's our own thing, but we're not necessarily excluding people from it, right? Or are you?
Why would you want to learn my history? How does that benefit you? Why would anybody like, unless you just denounce your own people and you just want to basically be like the people that we see nowadays where they just want to be something? Why would it doesn't help you in any way to want to learn what we have to teach our kids, because what we teach our kids might not be of the same, you know what I'm saying? We might not be on the, of course we're going to teach to love everybody and not to go, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to be hateful about it or anything like that, but
That's what I mean, because ignorance often leads to hatred. That's like people hate what they're afraid of,
right.
And if you don't teach others history as well, like, because that's where like I understand what you mean. Like, history is written by the victor, so a lot of history is doctored and it's made up and it's propagandized. But at the same time, like, you can learn the true factual history, especially like nowadays, because in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. But it helps to understand other people, because if you don't understand them, because we are just like, we are naturally tribal, like how you were talking about like gang banging and stuff like that. That's nothing new. Like, we've always been tribal since like the beginning of time. And so, like, from the beginning of our species, we've had a knack for an us versus them narrative. It's a story, like, we're naturally story driven creatures. And so if you don't understand the other people's story, you just know your own story, then it is us versus them, rather than seeing, like, it's like when you're watching an anime and it'll tell all perspectives, and you think one side's an asshole until it shows their side and how they've become the person that they are today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of like, oh, like they're not actually as bad as they seem when you saw them in the initial scene. So that's where I think learning each other's history is beneficial, but learning each other's history in more of a factual manner rather than a storytelling manner, because storytelling is telling one side rather than actually just like a display of information and a timeline. Like, I'm for that, like a display of information and then the timeline that went along with it. I'm completely for that. I'm not a fan of the storytelling narrative, storytelling history. That's it. That caused a division, because it honestly made me, like, when I was young, I had a dislike for white people, because it was, oh, they enslaved black people and they stole land from Mexico, and they killed the Indians, and like, but they don't teach you in the context of, that's all of human history is nations conquering nations. That's all of human history.
Well, I could say this, right? I could say this. No, we still, I don't think it's all about how you teach your history. If you really think about it, that history was taught to you that way for a reason.
Yeah.
You need more people fighting against each other than you do. The people that can afford a solid education don't feel the way you felt about them.
Well, that's why I say I'm against storytelling history.
So that and it's all and it's all and a good majority of it is just false. It's completely, you can prove anything depending on what you're talking about, anything in history you've learned, it can be proven wrong, definitely. And it's not just you could sway the information. No, you can literally go and look at articles and go see what they refer to these group of people as. You can go see what happened on 19 something, 17 something. You can go look. You can literally go prove a lot of it to be cap. I don't. It depends on who's teaching. It doesn't. I don't think, because that's the problem. Our biggest problem is we just allowed and we just rolled over it. We have a history of letting people just tell us how we need to run our shit, and that's our biggest problem. No, we need to teach our history to our kids, not with hate and divide and conquer and mixed inside of it, because that's what you want the lower class individuals to be like, because you want them to have an enemy. No, why would you need that? You don't have to teach nobody else's history to tell the kids, but you don't hate the people. You don't hate these individuals. You show everybody respect. These are things that you tell somebody after you get done letting them know, okay, look, son, you and the way slavery was taught to us is wrong. This is how what went down. And then when you explain the true story, you lose a lot of the hate that you think you have. So when you talk about slavery, everybody get talking about whips and chains and hanging, but they don't understand they're getting that shit from a fucking movie.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say it's
You
narrative.
gonna hate a motherfucker if you think that
Mhm.
motherfucker beat you and hung you and all
Yeah.
that type of crazy shit.
Well, that's why I say it's a narrative of storytelling.
They're purposely doing it, and like
Yeah.
you were saying earlier, the
And I think
defense was saying Marxism.
And I think the solution to that would be better curation of our educators.
Exactly.
People,
Exactly.
people who are historians rather than, teaching majors, like people who actually like went through and studied the like real history, rather than the people who are invested in telling a story because they feel some type of way about the creation of our country.
Exactly.
That
Carol
that's
Swain's a good example.
that's the real problem we have, because they're going to teach you the story that they want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know what you mean, Nizu. I know exactly what you mean.
I know what you mean too. A lot of what you said, I didn't really agree with it, but I know what you're saying because
they're
I know exactly what you're saying.
They're teaching us a story, not
Yeah.
teaching us history.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
And,
A lot of us wasn't even. A lot of the stories we hear, we barely even taught the shit. We getting this shit from TV.
Yeah.
A lot of this shit you get from TV.
I just recently just started learning about the real history a few years ago. And I'm looking back, I'm like, damn, I was lied to, and that's why I feel a certain way the way I do. Because I hear where you're coming from. I used to feel the same way, think the same way. I don't really agree with it now, but I got respect for those that do feel that way, and I understand. But when you were saying about the Marxism thing earlier, that's true. You ever heard of the Red Scare?
Nah,
it happened after World War I. That was the start of the indoctrination and the communism takeover of America, because all the whites were coming back from World War I. They couldn't get jobs, and that's what the Russians, Lenin, that's who they first targeted, and they were like, shit, damn, couldn't get them. So who did they go to next? Probably be a good idea if the black man, continued to learn that he was oppressed and this and that, cause a cultural revolution. And from then on, from there, that's when it started. And then also to the CRT, I forget what college it was up north and east. And since then, it's been one indoctrination after the other. Like Lenin, he actually recruited blacks right after World War I, but they couldn't get the whites to go to Moscow and train. Robert Patterson, he's a main one. I'll send you one of his things. But yeah, and then he even came out after he realized that the Russians, had lied to him. He's like, yeah, it's all bullshit. He was sending us a warning, and it's just continued on and on since then. So I hear what you're saying about teach this and that, but that is towards relating to Marxism. That's what they want, and it started at the Red Scare right after World War I.
See, but the biggest difference is I'm not teaching.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you are.
And I wouldn't want our history debunks the hate. What people don't understand is our true history makes you not look at the person that you think you hate like the hate goes away. Because when you really realize how everything really was, and when you really realize how everything came about, then you realize, okay, so we had the most profitable banks out of anybody. But then again, if you don't tell that and you just say niggas were slaves, period, hanging and beatings, then that's where you get the hate. That's where you get the bullshit from.
Yeah.
That's the Marxist shit that you're talking about. But if I tell the same black kids that was taught that they were slaves and hung and beat, if I just say like, oh no, this is why this happened, this is why that happened, and you were very profitable. The main reason why you are in the predicament you're in today is because you accepted ideology that wasn't your own. And anybody's plan for you is never going to be good for you because it's their plan and it's their history and it's their everything. So
I'm telling you, it's their story.
And that's what I'm saying. The shit I would be telling my, my kids, and hopefully it goes on. It's not a story. That's what I'm saying. It's not a story that's going to make me look like the hero. It's not a story that's going to make niggas look like heroes and we were the ones that were beating it. No, it's not going to be none of that. It's just going to be the truth. It's not to cause hate or divide. It's to let you know that you're not as low as you were told you were.
Yeah. And you know what? I think
that right there though, that right there, that as low as you told you were, that's to me, I don't believe that has to do with integration. That has to do with really the Democrats' mind control over people, because that's what they taught everybody. That's what they're teaching the Mexicans now with oh, you're coming here from a what's called country and you're being treated horribly. Like, why would so many people be coming here if it was such a racist country? There wouldn't.
Exactly.
It's part, for me, in my view, in my estimation, it doesn't really have as much to do with integration as much as it has to do with the Democrats and the actual racists needed something to continue the slavery aspects of it, but they couldn't do it physically, so they did it mentally. That's what it was.
And just like that one Ben Shapiro video I sent you, that good symbolization he made to that book, the modern day slave plantation, how it's mostly in liberal cities, and you compare it back to the slave plantation back in the day, like, what do they, security, they give them something to eat, but just keep them oppressed,
because
don't ever make them think they can go above and beyond.
Because they erase the history and make you think that it was only white people who were for slavery. What they neglect to mention the fact that Mexico fought with the Confederates to help maintain slavery. Like, so this whole idea of, if they were really honest about it, if they were really truly honest about the history, and they were talking about reparations and things like that, and how you need a reckoning with your past and everything, and you're holding the sins of the fathers against the sons, then you should be holding that against any people of Mexican descent, because chances are my grandparents are on my dad's side are from Texas. They're from Texas, so chances are that my ancestors fought with the Confederacy. So
and I agree with that. If we're going to teach the true history, that's what I meant. And
so if they're honest, I want to see them be wholly honest, and I want to see them say that Mexicans or people of Mexican descent are guilty as well for fighting with the Confederacy.
Exactly. Hold everybody accountable. And why do you think the Democrats, they were for all those statues being taken down? They were erasing their own history because they're seeing that we're starting to wake up and see it. That's how I took it.
But do you think I'm wrong, Nihisu, that my perspective isn't quite correct?
No, it's not that. Oh.
No. What's it called? Because
no,
go ahead.
No, I feel you. You saying, if you're gonna tell the truth, if you're gonna tell a story, tell the whole story, tell the true story, and instead of segregating, keep it integrated, but tell the full story in entirety, and tell every side of the story, not just the one story, and not just a story. Just tell what would really happen. Not even narrate it into a story where it's a path to victory type of story. Just give the full story, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. What I genuinely feel is, I think until we have our own, I think we should have our own schools in the indoctrination, like in the early ages of children. Like what I feel like is, I feel like you should teach, like I feel like everybody should teach the truth, right? Everybody should teach the truth. I honestly feel that way. Everybody should teach the whole story, right? And then everybody teaches their story. You know how you have the U.S. history, and then you have Texas history, or laws, Nevada history, and you got U.S. history.
Mhm.
You can have the integrated history, straight facts through and through, no BS, no cap, no he won, she won, just it was, this is what it was, this is what we did wrong, this is what we did right, this is why how we here today. You can teach that history, and then you can teach your people's history. You know what I'm saying? You can just dive deep into what they did wrong, what they did right, what to do now, what to drop, what not to repeat, what to continue to add upon. And what I honestly think is, I just think it should be up to the community, up to your group, to really raise the child, bro. Like, take the church perspective on how they do things, and keep the kids in that community and raise them and teach them right, and keep it righteous up until like 15. I think really we really shouldn't even be really vibing. Like, I mean, we really shouldn't all come together to like 15, because then you can't just, even even if we all meet in one room, right? And the room isn't owned by you, me, or him, right? The room is just governed, right? If you take a kid that's 15 years old, and we all meet together at 15, we all start off high school all together, right? As long as we did what we were supposed to do, nobody hates each other. We've seen each other. We played sports with each other. So and so dated so and so. You know what I'm saying? So at 15, if you don't own it and I don't own it and they don't own it, and it's just governed, right? You don't have to fear propaganda seeping into. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to fear that, okay, fuck, if I send my 3-year-old to this school compared to my 15-year-old, the motherfucker won't come back on some, well, I heard, you know what I'm saying? They won't just come up with a whole different mindset. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. That's true. I think that would be honestly, it would be a great idea if people weren't so corruptible.
For sure. Now I get what you're saying. If you can trust that a motherfucker won't be trying to preach that hate shit, then we have a perfect plan. Because then
what I'm saying.
one group would be like, you know what? Yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah, they suck. They were the enemy. No, I peep what you're saying. But if we could just get to a point, and I still have a little piece of hope in the average day people and what they want. They just want to have a house. They want to be able to take care of their kids. And they want their kids to not come home and say some shit that they're not. They want their kids to come home and say, their boy to come home and say, yeah, I'm a girl now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. And I think I didn't say right with the Marxist shit earlier. That's not what I meant. What you're saying, what I meant was, so take for instance, so they have in some schools, they have these throughout the school year, they'll make the kids actually like at lunch, they'll separate them. Like, they call them in independent diversity groups or something, whatever. And like all the black kids have to sit together, all the white kids have to sit together. And then also things like, did you ever see that one? It was like college class, and this professor was giving an example of what it's gonna be like after they graduate. And he uses a white kid and a black kid as an example. And he's like, yeah, this black guy applies for the same job. This white guy applies for the same job. Who do you think is going to get who do you think's the candidate that they're going to pick? And he pretty much says, yeah, they're going to pick the white guy because the black, and that's to me, that's bullshit. And they do that kind of shit within the elementary schools as well. That's what I'm against.
The Marxist thing that we're talking about, it's so critical race theory.
They're labeling it different these days.
It's called critical. Before it was called that, it's called critical conflict theory, and that was developed by I believe it was by Marx, where you have the conflict of the lower class and the higher class, the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. And when they tried that in the early days, they couldn't do it because our country was so prosperous, and so everyone was rising through the income brackets, and so they realized, oh well, we don't have that same problem. So what they wanted to do was they said, okay, well, America has a race problem. We have a sensitivity towards race, and so we'll use it through there. So it's just a Marxist framework with race slapped over it.
Am I a Marxist? I'm a lot of things. I do believe in Marxism. It's a philosophy that I learned really early on in my organizing career. We were taught to learn about the systems that were criticizing capitalism.
We actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained
rather than wealth and disparity. It's white and black, white versus every other color.
Yeah, and you're like, pretty much, I don't want my kid to my future kid one day go to school to learn that he is oppressed and that his counterpart, white boy, is his oppressor, and that white privilege, that's why it'll be harder for him to make it in the world. Like, no, you ain't gonna teach my kid that. It's the devastating mindset that they're putting in. You know, that's what I'm against. Teach the history, yes, teach the real shit, but don't be teaching my kid that he's fucking oppressed because of the color of his skin, and that white boy over there is his oppressor, that's his master.
Also, too, Nahees, when you put me up on game about the whole blacks being so like super prosperous throughout the 19th century, when their businesses were booming and stuff like that, and how their out of wedlock births were like down at like 15% or something like that, when they were super low, and everyone was getting married and stuff like that and staying together. I didn't realize how deep that lie went about about how like, poor us, you know, we're all what's called, because I was watching a debate between Michael Eric Dyson and this other guy, and Michael Eric Dyson really made the claim that marriage between black people wasn't a thing back then, that marriage between black people during segregation and during slavery wasn't a thing, that because it was illegal for slaves to get married, even though they did get married in secret. It was illegal for them to get married, but also you didn't have booming black businesses, you didn't have a booming black economy, that you guys were always poor. And I was like, oh, this lie runs deep, like, because he's a prominent voice on I think it's MSNBC.
They all prominent bullshit ass voices. This is what they do. This is what they're paid millions of dollars to do. You got to keep and here's one thing though. This is I need to study the white mind. I need to get a great insight on the white mind, the forefathers' mind, or not the forefathers. A little bit after that, I'd say probably early 1900s when they realized, okay, we got to switch this shit around. Motherfuckers is too happy making too much money, and this shit is never going to go down. Because do you know how dangerous you have to be to implement something and then not only affect the people that you want to affect, but to affect your own generation as well? Like,
Start with Woodrow Wilson.
That's crazy.
Aram's cousin was actually telling me about this. That okay, so you know how we were talking about in the 1930s, 1940s, you have all these people getting married and saying stay together and you know, you teach your family. Did you know that was a social experiment?
Yeah, I know you told me that before.
Yeah,
you told me that before.
That was a social experiment pushed onto us, and it worked so well that it actually made the government afraid. And that's when they started implementing start pushing the civil rights thing in the like the 60s, because during the 30s, 40s, and 50s, they pushed that, you know, that stay together, keep your family tight knit, raise your kids, you know, do all that stuff. And we got so powerful and so prosperous that we actually started being able like to be like, oh, we don't need the government. We're good on our own and everything. And that scared the fuck out of the government.
And see, this is why I feel like this is why I feel as though that shit scares me, bro. It scares me to it don't matter how good we get. It don't matter how much black, you know, it don't matter how much we start living our own kind. One thing we'll never be able to do is subject our generation to some shit. I can't see it, and I couldn't do it. You know, you dealing with a motherfucker when they like, yeah, there's a strong possibility this shit could work, but we're gonna have to aim the gun at our own children. Do you know how psycho you have to? Do you know how non-giving a fuck you have to be to feel like, yeah, well, the only way this really can work is if we all come together and teach everybody the same shit. Like this, bro, I don't even think my spirit, I can't even I don't think none of us can you with your children, Aaron, when you have your children, when I have my children, I don't think we can even subject our children to being like, we got to change this shit so bad to where we're going to affect our own kid. Like these motherfuckers that's cutthroat, bro. That's about as cutthroat as it get. That's some, will you kill your son for me on some Old Testament shit like that, nigga? That's crazy.
Well, they do. They already do got them killing their own kids, bro.
No, but I'm just saying, like the white people they hate themselves. It's like they feel. I had to like I be talking to some white
Oh.
people. Like when I sit there and I talk to them, and they be like, "Yeah, man, I really hate." I said, "Stop it right there, bro. Don't feel bad about a fucking Victoria story, bro. I'm not one of these niggas that's gonna sit here and cry about some bullshit. Now that I know the truth, I'm not mad about the shit. I just don't like how it's gunned at kids. Don't be mad. Don't feel bad for what your forefathers done. They were young, bro, and they created a nation at 30 something, 20 in their fucking young 20s and 30s. They created a nation and they forged a way for you. Don't sit there and cry and feel bad about how your forefathers did the shit that they did.
And
I'm
the greatest, most
What's up?
prosperous, and they made the greatest, most prosperous nation
Yeah.
that has the most different cultures. Like
Yes,
you
that's-
understand how rare that is. Like that
Now
video.
they didn't just they didn't make the code the how prosperous though. They
No,
didn't.
no, no. I know that. I know.
They,
I know
we
they
all
didn't.
we all put through a hand in that motherfucker. But
the system that they put into place allowed
Yeah,
for
for
all
sure.
for all
For
of us
sure.
to what's it called.
And somewhere along the way, you know, someone was like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to do it on what they wanted it to be," because that's what I feel like it was meant to be. The forefathers, they meant it to have it set up later on, like today, where we're all doesn't matter the skin color, this and that. And somewhere along the way, someone was like, "No, we need to change that."
Yo,
You know?
and that's scary, bro. That's
Yeah, I
scary
know it
that
is,
somebody
but-
was like, you know what? Looking at their baby like, yeah, I love my baby, but my baby's not not enough to get this victory. Like that's Tom Brady level dedication, bro. That's that's crazy, bro. That's something only another race could do, bro. Because I couldn't lie to my kids and then lie to another group of kids together just for the sake of a dub. Like that's insane, bro.
Yeah, but you know what? One thing I feel that's really missing, you know, especially with the kids being taught, it's there's too much of a defeat mentality being taught. I want more of a hey, you can do anything. Why can't you do it?
Well,
Okay,
that's
keep
the thing.
trying.
They need that defeat mentality. That's what
Well, yeah, you need
we've
the
been saying is
defeat mentality, but the teachers and shit, you ain't gonna teach my kid no goddamn defeat mentality. You better be encouraging those motherfuckers.
Go ahead.
If they ain't doing good,
No.
you better let me know, and I'm gonna get on the extra ass at home. Like we're gonna figure something out. But don't you dare be telling my kid that he ain't gonna get this fucking job because he's brown and the other guy that's applying for it is white because he has white privilege. Fuck that.
What they need is discontent, because here's the thing: is all conservatives are pretty content. Like we're pretty content with living our lives and doing our thing and taking care of our family. It's all the liberals and all the Democrats who are we need to overthrow the system because they're so discontent with their own life.
Yeah.
And there they
to
go
me, that's
once
the
again.
real evil with this country is the liberals and the Democrats. I'm sorry. Like, you know, there's some good ones, but no, if you want to historically until now and what I see every day,
bro,
liberals and Democrats, especially these woke motherfuckers, they hate this country.
They're
hate
starting
that,
to do this shit again. They're starting to do this shit again where they got their own sons feeling bad for being a man. I seen a couple videos where a dude would ask, "How do you feel about racism?" The white dude would sit there and be like, "Man, I feel really, really bad about it. I feel really, really, really bad about it." And then he was like, "Nah, I'm just joking, man. Don't feel that way." And then I seen in the same video, he asked a couple dudes like, in the same video, he didn't ask a couple dudes, but he was like, telling the lady to ask the questions to the dude, and the lady was like, so she had an earpiece, kind of like Punk. She was like, "So how do you feel about being a white male? Like, how do you feel about being a male?" And then she was like, "How do you feel about being a white male?" He was like, "You know, sometimes, man, it sucks that, you know, I'm a man and we do these things." And I'm like, "Fuck, they're doing it again. They're sacrificing their own motherfucking kids again. These motherfuckers are sick. They crazy, bro. Them fucking Democrat liberals, bro. They're gonna get the dub regardless. They're gonna get them damn votes, and they're gonna keep that damn governing. They're gonna keep the top. They're gonna stay at the top by all means. How do you allow your own son to feel this way, your own daughter to feel that way? And that's crazy to me, man.
And you know what? That's what my mama did to me. She told me all my life that I ain't gonna be shit. I'm gonna be just like my pops and this man, you know, working in a plant. You ain't never gonna be able to go to school and graduate, get a degree because you're ADHD troublemaker. She told me that she took out an insurance plan on me because I'd be dead before I'm 30 the way I was living, everything. So she had money to bury me with. So I mean, yeah, we need to start with the home shit too, because it's not just in the schools these white liberal teachers teaching that shit. You know, every group, you know, we treat each other like shit.
Yeah, inside the home with the culture. So we're coming up on our time limit. So
can I suggest something?
Well, I was gonna say closing statements.
Go ahead.
Go
You
first.
guys can go first.
Well, you, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, for my closing thing, I got an idea. So next time we meet,
Mhm.
what if we all presented our own what we would teach history wise? Be like a little project until then. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Everybody comes up with like a little mini lesson plan, like this is what I feel we teach.
Mm-hmm.
Would y'all be
Okay.
down for that?
Can we set it up how I was saying, like where
Yeah, however
you
you want.
got your
However you
integrated
want.
history and then you got your like
Yeah, however
know,
you want. Like
your
literally,
state and your government
what is it
history.
you feel needs to be taught?
All right,
Make a
bet.
list of what you feel needs to be taught. It's a high school history class. What are we
Bet.
going to learn this year?
Okay.
And,
Oh,
and
so
that's
like a
important, bro,
syllabus.
because we need blueprints for sure. Because
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way this shit is
exactly.
being going around right now, it ain't working out. And
Yeah, exactly. And we'll all
I
have to be
appreciate
prepared.
that because you need that blueprint and you need to know how to go just in case you do ever get into that point to where you can start to change this shit around. Because we definitely need to change this shit around. I definitely don't want my little boy to be a girl, and I definitely don't want my little girl to come home and try to be a boy.
Yeah.
I want them to be happy in their own skin. And this shit they teaching these kids, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly. So
dang.
we agree with that. We'll come up with the lesson plan.
For sure. I mean,
Just like-
and I'm not.
So you know what he means, right? Like a syllabus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
I'll send an example, and like I said, you make it however you want. It's your class. What are you teaching this year?
For
And
sure.
then closing statement wise would be, I agree with a lot of that. I agree with a lot of things we talked about. Some things I didn't, but you know what? Look how we were able to talk, and still respect each other, and try to understand. We need more of that. We're not always going to agree on everything, but you know what?
For sure.
This is what it needs more of. I
And
got
see-
mad respect for even, the things that I didn't agree with, because it made me think about something I didn't think about. I still don't agree with it, but you know what? I appreciate that someone has the balls to actually say it.
Yeah.
He gotta say
Exactly.
some shit like that, man. We was doing good
Yeah.
up this motherfucker. Then they
Yeah,
said,
yeah. And no matter
"Come
what,
love us
this is
too."
the greatest
Fuck
country in the world to
y'all.
me. It's always going to be the greatest country in the world to me. I don't believe in white privilege. I don't believe in oppressing this like that. I believe in a mentality. Yeah, it's going to be a little hard, but what are you going to do? This is going to hold you back? Soft ass motherfuckers being born these days. Appreciate y'all.
For sure. Hey, you know what? And this is my closing statement. I don't have no problem with nobody. Because like I said before, I don't even feel this is a problem that even should get to the school. It shouldn't even get to the school. It should start with who are you having sex with? Is your daily move should be very intentional. What you eat, what you drink, how you brush your teeth, when you wake up, when you go to sleep, who you have sex with, who you decide to marry, who you decide to have kids with. All this shit should be very intentional and should be taught to be very intentional from day one. And the problem with us is we don't move intentionally. Who gives a fuck what a white person? Who gives a fuck what the teacher, what the curriculum is? If you taught your kids right, it wouldn't mean nothing. It would mean nothing. You can keep the history how it is right now, but my kids wouldn't give a fuck. Cause my kids gonna be like, hey, dad, remember that shit you told me about 2 years ago? They was trying to teach me. They try to teach me that same that same bullshit. You got nothing to do with me though. I'm like, cool. You know what I'm saying? We're not my people. And I don't want to lump us all together. I just want to say the majority of my people, we're not intentional, bro. The only thing we intentional about is when next time we gonna get high, when next time we gonna get drunk, and next time we trying to fuck some. That's the only thing we intentional about. We're not intentional about nothing else, bro. And that's why I don't believe school is the next step after we figure out how the fuck to get this shit together from baby steps, bro. Because it starts from the baby steps. It starts from being able to work and being able to be self-sufficient enough to where there is a parent at the home, to where it won't just be your kids won't just be from 3 years old somewhere else. It starts with, okay, well, I don't want to have kids with this motherfucker because this motherfucker is a psycho. It starts with the little shit like that. Like, okay, what is this motherfucker? This motherfucker don't even brush his teeth. This motherfucker don't even wash his ass. Or you know what I'm saying? Like that's where the shit starts. Okay, fuck that. I don't even want to have a baby with this bitch funky. She don't ever clean her ass. She don't ever pick up nothing. She don't ever fold no damn clothes. This old big funky bitch, she can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? It starts from that. It don't start from the school system ain't gonna do shit for my kids because I'm gonna do it for them.
Exactly.
And I think race aside, I think the majority of people don't do anything with intent. Just as a people as a whole, we don't do anything.
And I didn't want to lump nobody in. That's why I shot the gun at myself. I didn't want to lump anybody in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can tell the difference between successful people or people who are fulfilled in life from people who aren't, and people who are doing bad. Because if you focus on everything with intent, you will do good in life.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
you'll go through hard times, but you will do good in life.
Exactly. And hard times are meant for a reason. They're meant to make you stronger. You know, it's just like boxing.
Mhm.
Keep getting back up.
And I think that's a really good point to end off on. Nihisu is do everything with intent. From how you wake up from how you wake up in the morning to how you go to bed at night to the people who you choose to be around.
Exactly.
Do everything
Exactly.
with intent.
Change
Hey,
your
baby.
playground and your playmates.
No,
So-
I'm good. I'm good. Love you.
No, and I know I hear exactly what you mean.
So
Yeah, bro. That's why I want to. I can't even allow myself to blame anybody, bro, because it doesn't start with them. They don't birth my kids. I can't blame a motherfucker that's not in the delivery room with me. It's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the motherfucker that's gonna be shirtless with the baby on my chest, talking about skin to skin connection. So if I don't make a conscious, intentional effort right then and there, bro, I don't got nothing. I can't even complain, bro. Cause then I'm the bullshit ass motherfucker that let my dumb ass indoctrinated ass kid go through the door and be the evil ass, burning down business ass motherfucker that he is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Exactly.
And so thank you. And that's a perfect point to end off. Do everything with intent.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Aaron, I'm glad you came, brother. I'm glad I got to speak for you for the first time.
Yeah,
I
I've been
appreciate you.
looking forward to this, man.
I appreciate your
Looking forward to
energy.
it.
Fuck all that ADHD shit, motherfucker. What it really means is, nigga, you ready to go. You came out of birth ready to go. My brother Tino.
No, I'm just now feeling like that. Like I said, it wasn't the white man or the system. It was my mama doing it to me all my life. I'm just now living up that dream. She said I was gonna be dead by 30. I'm 33. She said I'd never go back to school. I got 2 degrees.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
You got that
So
energy.
anyone can do it. Look
Yes,
the man in the
sir.
mirror.
And then T, hey man, I got nothing but love for you, brother. You helped me at my lowest, and you've been there, bro. And I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate this conversation, and I appreciate what happens from these conversations. Growth. So
Yes.
Always.
Yes. And Tino, it's been a pleasure knowing you too. You know, it's like
You do, man. All right, thank you guys. And we can conclude this episode number 16 of Big Dudes, Big Truths, or 17.
wait a minute, Aaron not
Peace.
big. He not the big dude.
But
I'm not the big dude.
but he's our guest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.